All right, so I'm gonna trim these lids that I made for those those jars that I threw the other day. I threw those, trimmed them, but this is quite thick, like beefy. Like that's a thick lid right now. But we have I threw it like this. So you have the flange, which sits down into the pot. You have the little lid that goes over the top, so the lid doesn't fall into it. This is there so the lid doesn't just slide off. So there's a little curve inside, like a little bowl right there. I'm going to try and get this top of the lid to kind of be thin, kind of light, to match that curve on the underside. And there's enough clay here that I can make a knob at the same time. So I have the idea that it's going to kind of curve up and then do a knob like that, like nice enough, a little bit so you can like grip it with a couple fingers, 2, 3, 4 fingers, whatever you want. Pull it off. So first thing I'm going to do, get it back on the wheel so I can trim it with my trimming tools. I like these. I find these to be like some of the sharpest ones in the studio right now. In the studio where I am, but you can use like really detailed ones for fine pork. You can use like large ones. You can use these. You can't use that. That's not good because that is a round one. So that's for modeling for soft clay. And these, you can see, are wide and thinner, so they're sharp, and you hold it at an angle and you cut. So I'm going to tap center this to get it in. So every time it like bulges that way, just give it a little. Try and time it. Try and tap it into the center. I've got some soft clay over here to have lugs, to make lugs. What I'm gonna do is put downward pressure and squish these into the wheel head. But it also forms a wall, so the lid can't go that way. So it can't go that way, but it could go all of these ways. So I'm gonna put one here. And the clay's wet enough that's gonna stick to the wheel head. Downward pressure, so I'm not moving the lid as I push this in, because sometimes you can push this in, the lid will move a little bit because you're like, ugh! And the lid moves and then the lid's off center. So you want to keep this, this should be on center. I really like these. I'm going to set them aside so I don't have to rummage around. So pretty good clip to like start. This is probably the least centered. I like to keep one hand and kind of finger just to like have a read on the clay. And I just kind of use a point, go from the center out. That helps to flatten it. I'm holding the tool pretty close to it. I even have a hand on here. It's not sharp enough that it's going to cut me, but it does cut the clay. And I can apply, by having a small surface area that's cutting, I can get more force on a smaller area, and it's going to take the clay a lot more. It's going to make it more difficult for the clay to like bump it, kind of like that. If it bumps the tool, that's not going to be centered. So the tool really needs to cut. You can take, for something like this where it's really off right there, because there's a chunk of clay right there, you can either pull it, or you can take a sharper point and kind of just cut down, kind of like that. But I'm gonna, like, it's pretty shallow, so I'm gonna cut off a lot of this stuff right here. And sometimes you find like little bits of grog or what's in here. Like that, what is that? Dude, what is that, earthenware? Like, that's just like a bit of groggy junk. Come on, man. If you ever turn wood on the lathe or I've seen one turning wood on the lathe, this is sort of like that. I was thinking, oh, it's so satisfying. It's like one of those satisfying videos on the internet. Maybe. There's a reason why I find. There's a reason I like work. Like, what is that? What is that? Do you see that? Do you see that piece of like different clay in there? Why are you there, man? What is that? Porcelain? Is that white stoneware? Like, get out of here, man. You're not what I want. Ugh. What? Dude. Come on, man. What is that? Why are you there, man? I don't want you. You stowaway? Bruh. I don't think I can get rid of it. All right, so now I'm trying to isolate the knob at the top from the curve from the curve. I wish this wasn't bent. It would be a lot easier. You gotta take care of your tools. Even if they're not your tools, respect the studio's tools. Because, bruh, rule number one, respect. What do you think? That's kind of a nice curve right there. Maybe we would go a little more, but you worried about going through, so I don't want to go through. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's gonna be my knob. I want to be a little narrower, kind of just like straight in. Well, I might get it all out. You have like a little knob. Snip, snip, hit the nip tuck on them. I'm gonna have to switch up on you. Snip, snip, hit the nip tuck on you. Ring, ring, never pick up on you. This all right? Like, I'm good with that. Like it? I'm good. Still it's got a little weight. It's not thin. Like, that's pretty sturdy, but it has that nice curve. It's got that flange. So there's your lid. Do it, send it.